Welcome to the Fret Frontier. In this episode, we are continuing the Ground Zero ukulele tutorial series, which are beginning ukulele lessons. In the last episode, we worked on the C chord, which we determined was made up of 3 notes, a triad from our C major scale, C, E, and G. Okay. So what we didn't do in the last episode was play the first string because of that. This is an A, right? Give cats every advantage, and that doesn't fit in our triad. So let's take a look at how to complete that chord. So what you'll see up on the screen here is our C scale, and as a review, our musical alphabet has 7 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start on A again. And the C scale naturally falls into the pattern of that major scale without having to alter any of the notes. And by altering, we mean making them sharp or making them flat. And our rule for the spaces in between notes, again, this is in review, were that E and F were always together or 1 fret apart. B and C always together, 1 fret apart, and everything else was a whole step apart. So if we talk about C being a natural scale where the notes fall naturally, take a look at what we have up on the screen here. This makes up our C scale. If I play it across our 3rd string, we'll see how those notes line up. So if I have C, a whole step away from C, the next note is going to be D, that's the 2nd fret. E, that's going to be another whole step away. Okay. F, that's right next to E, that's 1/2 step away. A whole step away will be G. Now I start over in the musical alphabet to A. Another whole step away. Another whole step away is B. And a 1/2 step away is C. So that would be my major scale. So I'm just going to play that through so you can hear what it would sound like. We haven't used our left hand yet, so you don't have to play that along with me. We will be playing these scales together later. Just listen to the sound of it. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So familiar sound, the major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we have put together our C chord, which was C, E, G. Now, if we want to complete that chord so we can play all 4 strings, what we want to do is add another one of those pitches, another occurrence of either a C, an E, or a G. So what we'll do is take a look at that first string. The name of it is A, right? Give cats every advantage. And now we're going to follow that pattern of whole steps and 1/2 steps to find a note that's in that triad on that string. So we start with A. Musical alphabet, we follow from there. Next note would be B. That's going to be a whole step because it's not B and C, it's not E and F. Okay, so we have A, whole step away, we skip a fret, that's B. B and C are together, right? 1 fret away. So on that 3rd fret, there's our C. Okay, so now I'll play that for you. And that's our C chord. So all we're playing in there are C's, E's, and G's. I've got a G, a C, an E, and another C, an octave higher. This was my C on the 4th string. There's my C on the 1st string. And I have notes in between that, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 8 tones higher is my octave. C and C. Okay, so now let's talk about our left hand. We have only been using our right hand in this series so far. So our left hand, let's talk about the fingering. We have our index finger as 1, our middle finger as 2, our ring finger as 3, and our pinky as 4. The thumb doesn't get a number, but it gets a very important role. It supports our hand as we're playing. So the thumb is going to be in the back of the neck. The fingers, these 4 fingers will be in the front, and in between the thumb and each one of the fingers is a pinching motion. That thumb is always creating a pinching motion with the neck of the instrument in between the thumb and the fingers, okay, creating that anchor and allowing you to get the power that you need to press down on the string and make a sound when you are in one of these frets in between these fret bars, okay? So let's take a look at what can go wrong with the thumb. First thing is the thumb is over the top of the neck. This cramps up our hand, okay? So good technique is not about obeying rules so much as it is keeping your hand healthy, keeping the blood flowing through your hand and your wrist and your arm so you don't cramp up, you don't cause injury to your muscles or by playing your instrument. Okay, we want to be as comfortable as possible. And so these technique rules are really about getting your hand in a position that's going to be healthy for your hand while you're playing for long periods of time on your instrument. So what we want to do is think about that thumb staying in the back. We don't want to allow it to come up into the headstock back here like this. What happens then? Your palm is taking the role of the thumb and trying to create the pinching pressure with your fingers in the front. And that again cramps up these fingers. It makes them really short. The last thing is sneaking in front of the neck. So your thumb wants to get up there in the front, and then you have absolutely nothing going on in the back, and you're just trying to press with no help from your hand at all. So we want that thumb to be in the back. And the way I think about it is using hand puppets. Okay, back in the day, this will really date me, there was a puppet on a TV show, children's TV show that I used to watch called Garfield Goose. Okay, and the goose had this shape. He was a puppet. Your hand would go inside there and work his beak, which was like this, okay? So if you take the, start off with the Garfield Goose position and come around the neck of your instrument, you've got the thumb kind of in the right place, okay? In the middle of the neck here, and your fingers in the front of the neck. Now, the next step in getting the right position is to move from Garfield Goose to Lamb Chap, another hand puppet. And Lamb Chap, the fingers curled up and created his little head, right? And this is also referred to as just creating a C with your hand, the C position. But I think of it as this little Lamb Chop puppet, right? The fingers are curled in and the thumb closes up. There you get your pinching motion. When you turn this configuration onto your instrument, you have the thumb in the back there and the fingers in the front, and you have maximum flexibility and length in your fingers now to move around, and you have just this little slight change that's needed. You still can keep this arm pretty straight. We don't want something like this happening. You don't want to cut off the blood flow to your arm. You want things to stay pretty comfortable, okay? Let's take a look again then at what's happening. We're going to be putting one finger per fret. So when we use the first fret, this first space bar on this first string, we'd use the index finger. When we use the second space, we'd use this middle finger, the second finger. When we use this third fret, this third space in between the bars, we would use our third finger, the ring finger, okay, on those frets. We're going to press our third finger onto the third fret of that first string. Then we're going to come back to this right hand. Remember, we curl our fingers in towards the palm, and the thumb falls through. And we have a little bit of a twist in the wrist. No cranking and no hanging on and making this joint do all the work. We want a very flowing, comfortable motion, okay? So we've got our third finger, third fret, first string. All the other strings are open. Thumb starts from the fourth string, which is the string closest to the ceiling, falls through to the first string. And we want a nice, smooth movement that makes them all ring out together. So splitting it up is not wrong, but when we're doing accompaniment and we want to strum, we want the sound of everything sort of bursting forth at the same time. Okay? So that's our C chord. Let's take a look at our next chord. Our ukulele is tuned to the C6th chord. Why is it called the C6th chord? We've got our C chord, this little core area here, C, E, and G, that's our triad. This open note, the A, is the 6th degree of our C scale, C, D, E, F, G, A. So we have a C chord with that 6th added to it. So this is a chord also. Let's just play that open. Thumb striking all the strings, downward motion. That's our C6th chord. Okay, the next chord we'll take a look at is the C major 7. And now how would you guess that's comprised? Again, we're starting always with that overlap of the C chord. We have our C triad, we have the C, we have the E and the G. And so now we're going to add the 7th degree, C major 7, that natural degree of the C chord. So if we take a look at our diagram there and count through C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B is the 7th degree. And we already found that coming up to the C, right? It was the 2nd fret of that 1st string. We're going to put our 2nd finger, middle finger, okay, on the 2nd fret, 2nd space of that 1st string, strum that through. Oh, that's beautiful. Those major 7 chords are so pretty. Okay, so that's our C major 7. Okay, and the next chord we're going to do in the C family is our C dominant 7th. And the way we get the dominant 7th is to take that 7th, right? We still have our 7th, and we're going to make it flat, which means we're going to lower it 1/2 step. Okay, so that means 1 fret. So I'm on the 2nd fret, lowering it 1 fret would bring me to the 1st fret. So I'm going to put my 1st finger there. Now I have made that B flat. That's a flat 7, and that gives me the dominant 7th chord. So I've got the C chord, that triad in there, with that flat 7 added, and it sounds like that. Strum that with me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is play what we've learned. We have 4 chords. We're going to play all 4 chords, but we're going to do them in a sequence starting with the C chord. Then we will play them in reverse order. So we'll go C, C major 7, C dominant 7, C6, and we'll give each note 4 beats. Now 4 beats is considered a whole note, and we will count 4 to the number 4, tapping our foot 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the duration of a whole note. So let's clap out together 4 whole notes. So we're going to do 4 measures. A measure is a collection of beats. Each measure will have 4 beats in it, and the beat will be a whole note. So we're going to clap on the first beat of the measure. Let's do it together. 2, 3, 4. Tap your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to play the chords that we've learned so far. Each one we'll hold for 4 beats, starting with the C. Take a look at the notation that we have up here. So what this is an example of what you would see when you download music online and take a look at lead sheets. Generally, you'll be given this shorthand notation telling you the name of the chord and telling you the measure. So each slash is telling you that that's the end of a measure, and we're calling out that each measure contains 4 beats before we even get started, and you'll see those instructions when you take a look at a lead sheet. And so what we're going to do is play the chord for 1 downstroke, counting out the 4 beats and then moving on to the next chord. So I'll play that for you so that it makes some sense, what I just said verbally into the sounds we're going to have. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C major 7, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, C6, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to play that together and watch. Notice that you don't have to move your fingers far away. So it's not like this, and then like this, and then like this. Keep those fingers hovering over the place where they're going to go. Each finger is assigned to its fret, 1, 2, and 3. Hovering over, ready for when it needs to press down. Thumb stays in the back. And since we're doing a chord that's not requiring a lot of contortions, the tendency will be for the thumb to kind of sneak up, peek over, and see what's going on. So try to keep it in the back there, nice and relaxed, okay? And let's, on 4, play this together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, do it again. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you have 4 chords that you can now switch in between. In the next lesson, we will add a bunch of strumming patterns that we can then apply to a song using some of these chords. So spend some time getting comfortable with that. We'll also be doing more exercises to get your left hand more comfortable. Little by little, we layer on more information. Take your time, go at your own pace, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me.